the bronze going to what was that, Lafayette there in lane 6.
And we are off in the grand final for the women's freshman novice with Coxon. In lane 1, we have Lafayette. In lane 2, Long Island. In lane 3, Rhode Island. In lane 4, Catholic. In lane 5, MIT. And in lane 6, Tampa University. It looks like the ladies from Long Island have, it looks like the ladies from Rhode Island have, got my islands mixed up, have gotten out to an early start and are pressing hard to establish themselves in this first 500 meters of the race.
Yeah, so yesterday we talked a lot about this Rhode Island crew in their semifinal and their time trial. They were really impressive in both of those events.
Yeah, you know, they were rowing really well as a team. We had some excellent shots of them really syncing up, you know, from the drone footage, and they just moved the boat really well together. It'll be interesting to see now that they're in the final, now that the pressure is on, they've got some competitors. Can they continue to have the composure to race as well as they have so far?
Yeah, so we had some fun semifinals in this event. Yesterday, Rhode Island obviously winning their semifinal by a good margin, but the second semifinal was really tight between Catholic and Long Island, only 3 seconds between them, and you see at the moment it's breaking out. Rhode Island out in front in lane 3, Long Island in second at the moment, and then about a length back of them is Catholic.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something I'm saying, we'll see. You know, we spoke in some of our earlier races today about strength versus technique. Sometimes you just have the raw strength to overcome the deficiencies in your technique. One of the things I'm seeing in this Rhode Island boat is we're taking the stroke with our backs instead of really taking it with those legs and pushing. You can see the ladies from Long Island, the ladies from Rhode Island really getting up to that catch and pushing with their legs. And that's the strongest, you know, the strongest muscle group, and that's where you want to take that catch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the two island teams here have very similar colors. One slightly lighter shade of baby blue in the Long Island crew.
Yeah, well, I just have to use Long Island instead of Rhode Island, and I can get my roads and my longs. Or we can go right, left, R and L. So
there you go.
Know, maybe that'll work. But right now, back from my dad jokes, and coming back from my dad jokes, you know, we've got this Rhode Island crew really looking good on the course here as we get this awesome drone shot.
Yeah, but how about this Long Island boat really keeping it close here, not letting Rhode Island get out to too much of a lead. Again, Long Island finished second in their semifinal to Catholic yesterday, so off to a really good start at about 750 meters. You see it there on the southern shore. Yeah,
you know, despite the fact that, you know, visually I see a little bit of taking the catch with their backs, this Long Island crew looks really strong in the 3 and the 4 seat. So it'll be interesting to see once again if the power that they can generate, you know, can really help them stay in this race.
Yeah, so as they approach 1,000 meters to go, it is Rhode Island, followed by Long Island, and then Catholic University in lane 4 in third. And you know they're trying to keep pace at the moment. They're not out of it just yet, but they need to get to work if they want to get back up into the leaders area.
Yeah, so Catholic in that third spot right now, and the question is going to be right now, Long Island and Rhode Island are going pretty much stroke for stroke. You know, what's going to happen a little bit later down the course when they get into that last 500?
Yeah, so halfway through the race here, Rhode Island maintaining that slim margin lead over Long Island. Catholic now a bit of a distant third. And again, also on your screen there is Lafayette out of lane 1.
Yeah, for me, this is the time to make a move if you're Long Island. This is the time to really try to turn the heat up a little bit and see if you can have Rhode Island have some doubt about what they're doing. And so, you know, we'll see if they decide to make that move, if they decide to put that pressure on to really see if Rhode Island has any doubts.
Yeah, and it looked like potentially there on one of those strokes, Rhode Island just getting a little caught up on the port side at their finish. You know, so we'll see if Long Island can't take advantage of that. It does look like it's tightened up just a little bit there.
Yeah, and you can see back here, nothing has changed in that back group. Catholic still looking to be solidly in that bronze medal position right now. And it's, to me, at this point in the race, the other crews, if there's any opportunity for them to make it to that podium, this is the time they have to do it.
Yeah, so you see here as they make their way towards the final 500 again here, the women's freshman novice for the final at the Jefferson Vail Regatta.
So yeah, we're coming into that last 500 meters. You know, this is it right here. This is where your fitness and your training are called into question. And you know, it'll be interesting to see. You know, they've been battling it out the whole time. These two islands, Long Island, Rhode Island, they've been battling it out. The question is, can Long Island push through?
Yeah, not much to separate them, but the Long Island Sound. In truth, a little geography lesson for you folks out there.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played.
500 meters left to go here, and again, it's difficult to tell. Looks like Rhode Island could potentially still be having a slight advantage here. We're looking at the same screen as you are, so we're basing our opinions off of that. So if you're a Long Island fan and you think they're in front, more power to you.
Yeah. Catholic still seems to be in third, and then the rest of the field well behind. But this is it. If Long Island's going to make a move, this is the time. It looks like Rhode Island might have slipped out a little bit more, applying some pressure. As I said, in that third 500, sort of where you have to keep them close, because once you come into this sprint, both of these crews have trained hard all year. Both of their coaches have said to them and put them in a position so that they can be physically ready right now. So right now it comes down to the mental aspects. Can they stay within their body? Can they keep the composure? And right now it looks like Rhode Island is keeping their composure and really hanging on to that lead.
Yeah, so 250 meters now left in the race for our leaders. It does look like Rhode Island has maintained a lead. Long Island not going away yet, though. They're still right there. And do they have enough? We talked earlier about how they looked like they had some speed as a crew, and you can see it now. They do look pretty fast as they come into the final 150.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving just a little bit, but once again, you have to ask these questions earlier. Sometimes you have to be in a place where you know that there's enough in the tank to attack in that last 250 meters if you're going to race from behind.
Yeah, and you see here it is going to be Rhode Island in the final stretches of this race. Rhode Island with a really nice chance here to finish with the gold, and it does look like Rhode Island will go on to win the women's freshman novice 4 here at the Jefferson Vail Regatta. The gold to Rhode Island, silver to Long Island.
Long Island continuing to press all the way through that race.
Yeah, and we'll see here Catholic with about 10 to 15 seconds with a bit of a disappointing row for them, I'm sure. As they finish with the bronze, they'll still end up on that podium. I'm sure they would have liked to have remained right there with Long Island and Rhode Island, but an impressive bronze nonetheless.
Yeah, you always like to be in the race for the gold, but the bottom line is that we have now crossing Lafayette and Tampa out in lane 6. The bottom line is that, you know, we had some really good racing. All of those crews should be proud of the, was that MIT, and now Tampa crosses the line. All of the crews put in great work, great effort to be here in this final.
Alrighty then, and you see there the results on your screen as we move forward to the men's freshman novice 4 event.